pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is trustworthy. The Scout is loyal. The Scout is helpful. The Scout is friendly. The Scout is courteous. The Scout is kind. The Scout is obedient. The Scout is cheerful. The Scout is thrifty. The Scout is brave. The Scout is clean. The Scout is reverent. 2. Signs. Now the oath. On my honor.
I will do my best to do my duty to God, my country,
I will obey the Scout law.
To help other people.
All times.
Keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, morally straight.
By the power vested in me by the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Court of Honor to be duly convened for the sole purpose of presenting the Eagle Scout Award to Michael Pappas.
At this time, I would like Life Scout Gregory Rice to tell us about some of the other codes of conduct our honoree has followed during his scouting career.
The scouting program is designed to grow with the boy. Tiger Cub activities, for example, are quite simple compared to those of the Boy Scout troop, and we require much more than Boy Scouts than we do Tiger Cubs. Tiger Cubs, in case you've forgotten, are first graders. They make a simple promise, a promise to love God, the family, the country, and to learn about the world. The motto is search, discover, and share. When these boys graduate to Cub Scouting, they learn this promise. I promise to do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people, and to obey the law of the pack. The law reads as follows. The Cub Scout follows the Kilo. The Cub Scout helps the pack grow. The pack helps the Cub Scout grow. The Cub Scout gives goodwill. The motto of the Cub Scout is, do your best. The next step, of course, is Boy Scouting, where boys learn the oath, the law, and that we stay at each of our meetings. Boy Scout also has a motto, be prepared, and the slogan, do a good turn daily. During his scouting career, our honoree has learned and tried to obey all his promises, oaths, laws, mottos, and slogans. Later today, he will repeat one more promise, the Eagle Scout promise. The important thing to remember, and this applies to all of us, is that we shouldn't forget the promises we made just before because we're making a new promise now. It's still important to learn about the world, to search, discover, and share, to give goodwill, to do our best, and to be prepared. Scout oath, Scout law, and all the rest of us are just your scouts, but for real life.
Will the honor guard please escort the candidate forward? At this time, we usually call upon the Scoutmaster to make the Eagle presentation. But Michael has 6 Scoutmasters since he became a Boy Scout. Michael has asked Scoutmaster Steve Young, representing Troop 506, and that Scoutmaster Scott Bouchard, represent Troop 441. Would Scoutmasters Young and Bouchard please come forward to make the appropriate presentation?
And I'd like to break from this a little bit and tell you my experience with Michael. In every rank advancement in scouting, there's a part in there, and I think it's probably one of the most important parts, is demonstrating the scout spirit by living the scout life. And if you notice, the scout oath is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, reverent. Michael, every encounter I've ever had with him has always demonstrated those qualities. So I'm not surprised that he's standing here right now, because I knew this is where he was headed. But at every camp out, he would always ask, if like I was setting up my camp, the other boys were, and he was done with his duties, he would always offer to help, Never an unkind word. I've never heard this young man have an unkind word come out of his mouth for me, and which is nice. Always cheerful, always willing to help, and not necessarily in scouting. I've heard other things in helping out. Years ago, we did service projects, selling bird feed, Pioneer Arts Settlement. Michael was always helpful. Remember that? Years ago, bring that memories back. Yeah, so, and he was always there, smiling just like he's smiling now, and just always a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be around. So it gives me great pleasure, and I'm honored to be here today to see you do this. So, anyway, back to the script. We've heard a lot today about what it means to be an Eagle Scout. Now Henri will have a chance to tell us a little about his journey and what being an Eagle Scout means to him.
I sort of have a speech prepared. Don't know if I'm going to follow it too closely or not, but I'd like to thank everyone first for coming. Really appreciate it. I know you guys are all busy, have pretty big schedules that you have to keep up with. Time flies, doesn't it? Seems like just yesterday that I was a Tiger Cub wanting to join. I was the age for a Tiger Cub wanting to join into a Cub Scout pack. Since there wasn't any, me and my parents decided that we wanted to start a Cub Scout pack. And so we did. And I started learning lots of new things, like how to build and fly a kite. I remember flying my first kite when I was a Tiger Cub. Eventually, we got a little bit too old for Tiger Cubs, so I moved on to Pack 575, which is the pack that my parents helped bring together with the communities that built. There I discovered many new and interesting things and met people, a lot of new people and friends. As I got older, I was able to do more and more outdoor activities like camping. One of these activities was Cub Scout Day Camp. The one thing that stands out in my mind about Cub Scout Day Camp was the year that camp had to get shut down early, 2 days, because of a possible hurricane, but it never came. A few days later, when I was a Weeblo Scout, my family hosted the Tuscarora District Cookery in our backyard, all 59 acres of it. Everything was going good until I heard on the two-way radios that there was a huge 6 or 7 foot alligator inside our garage. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. So of course everyone had to go investigate. So it turned out the 7 foot monster was only about a foot long. So we grabbed the thing and brought it around to all the campsites for everyone to see. And then after that we let it go back into the wild. Then time went by, I earned my aeroflight, and I crossed over into Troop 506. In Troop 506, I did a lot of new things. I still remember my first summer camp at Camp Lenoci. The main thing that I remember there is earning my miles swim. And Steve, you remember that? Oh, yeah. We had to get up around 5 o'clock every morning to make it to Lake Norris in time, and that water was cold. cold, outright cold. Remember that, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. I also remember a council camporee at Deseret Ranch, where during a bullfighting demonstration, our brave council executive, Wayne Brock, got to meet the bull face to face while saving a young scout who wandered into the ring. Guess I'm not going to be a bullfighter when I grow up. I continued to go to Camp Lenoche for a couple more years, earning merit badges and having fun until I was a Star Scout. When I became a Star Scout, my family moved to Port Orange. A few weeks later, Greg Rice, my next-door neighbor, introduced me to Troop 441. It wasn't too long before I went to my second council camporee in Troop 441, where, by a total coincidence, Troop 441 and Troop 506 were right next door to each other. And brought back a whole lot of memories, like all my old friends from Troop 506. Unfortunately, some of them couldn't be here today, but like Steve here, who still is my friend. Soon after that, I became a Life Scout, bringing me one step closer to where I am today. I have earned 25 merit badges, and for my project, I built a puppet theater, which you hopefully have seen out in the foyer, for the children's program here at Port Orange Presbyterian Church. Towards the end of my trail to Eagle, I wandered off a little bit, but thankfully I made it due to some help from some special people, like Mr. Bouchard and Mr. Langley. Our current scoutmaster, he unfortunately had to go out of town this weekend, so he couldn't make it. And they always pointed me in the right direction. I'd also like to thank some of the leaders from Troop 506, especially Mr. Steve Young, Mr. Ed Young, one of my other scoutmasters, Mr. John Zaralita, Mr. Bill Grover, and of course my dad for being great scoutmasters for me to follow. There are many other people I'd like to thank, especially my family, who have been with me the whole way. First, I'd like to thank my grandparents, Yai and Papu. Yai and Papu means grandmother and grandfather in Greek. If you want, you can call them Yai and Papu too. They probably like that a little bit. They're right over there. They have always supported me whenever I needed it. And I have a little bit of a gift for you guys. So next, I'd like to thank my sister, Jennifer, sitting right there, if you haven't seen her yet. She's always been with me whenever I needed her, and sometimes when I didn't need her too. I'll go ahead and give you your present a little bit later when you're up here, okay? And then there are my parents. Probably wouldn't be here without them today. Thank you. Thanks.
I would like to say a couple things about Michael also.
I usually don't use a microphone. There we go. This is a little bit better. Since Michael's been with the troop, he has been a tremendous help. He's helped me along the way of being a good scoutmaster by giving me a different viewpoint on things, along with a lot of the other boys in the troop. He's actually, when we straight off the trail, it'd take a 5-minute talk to get him back on the trail, which some boys take a lot longer. He's really good. He's energetic about the scouting program, and I'm really happy to have been a scoutmaster. Becoming an Eagle Scout is a great honor. It is also a great responsibility. At this time, I'd like to ask Council Commissioner Jim Crowley to remind you what is required of you as an Eagle Scout. During your time in scouting, you have learned and lived the Tiger Cub motto, the Cub Scout promise, the law of the pack, the Cub Scout motto, and of course the Scout oath, law, motto, and slogan. Each time you presented with a new code of conduct, the words were unfamiliar, and you struggled to memorize them. Later, of course, you could recite them as easily as you repeat your own name. They and the lessons they taught became part of you. Tonight, for the first time, we will repeat the Eagle Scout promise. Again, some of the words will be unfamiliar, but as you live out the life of an eagle, they too will become part of you. Making that new promise does not mean that you should forget all the other promises. Instead, I challenge you to always remember and live by all the promises you've made as a scout, all the codes you've agreed to follow. Now, finally, it's time for the Eagle Scout promise we keep talking about. Though the words you say are similar to those you've said so many times before, today they will mean more to you than they have ever have. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your oath with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. I'd like all the Eagle Scouts in the audience to stand at this time and rededicate themselves by repeating the Eagle Scout promise with our new Eagle Scout. Please make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example, my rank and my influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship in my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2. Please be seated. By the virtue of the authority vested in this court by the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, upon recommendation of responsible persons and after thorough investigation of the applicant, I now award the rank of Eagle Scout to Michael Pappas. I have the honor to give the Eagle Scout charge on this occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most meaningful and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been found worthy of the highest rank in its membership. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed the solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, and to your fellow Scouts and others. This is a great undertaking. You will live up to these obligations and bring honor to yourself and your brother Scouts. You cannot fail and bring down the standards of all others. Your responsibilities go beyond tour, fellow Scouts, to God and your country. America has many good things to give you and those who follow you, but these good things depend, for the most part, on the character and leadership abilities of her citizens. You come to her in all that she needs most. You are here to make her future greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service. By doing so, all may live better.
Primary source of strength and help to your obtain of you. No one will ever know the unnumbered acts and self-sacrifice from your stepmother Robin. I'd like her to pin an Eagle Medal on you.
father has been a source of much advice and guidance all along the Eagle Trail. So I'd like him to present you the certificate. Kind of got it all over. In return, please present your father the Eagle tie pin.
Color guard, retreat. Colors. Color guard, dismissed.